Okay, let's talk about Venn diagrams. You may have seen these growing up in school or outside of school. And what a Venn diagram is, a Venn diagram displays the relationships among subsets of a set. A subset is a smaller set of a larger set. Okay, so for example, if like these two, if the whole set was people who had pets, and this was people who had dogs, and this is people who had cats. I'm comparing those subsets, the people that have dogs and the people that have cats. So first let me just kind of show you what I did here up here at the top, and then we'll look at some real life examples. Okay, so there's different types of Venn diagrams. In a Venn diagram, when you're comparing two things, I put stars where the two things you'd be comparing. When you're comparing two things where one is completely inside the other one, the words that you could use are, if you're talking about the one on the inside, you might say all, okay, or every, or each. And if you notice, these are all ways that you can write conditional statements. So it's the if part of a conditional statement. So if you're in the inside here, then you are on the outside. So the conclusion will go on the outside. Or if you were talking about the outside first, you would say some. Some of these are these. Okay? Again, we'll look at some concrete examples. Okay, if I'm comparing two things that are in circles that overlap, then I'm comparing things that are sometimes the same. So some of these are these, and some of these are these. So no matter which one you're talking about first, you would use the word some. These two, they're completely separate subsets. They don't touch. So whether I'm talking about this subset or this subset, I'm going to say no, or I might say none. Okay. Alright, so let's look at some more concrete examples. Alright, what I've done is I've put together a couple of Venn diagrams to review vocabulary that we've already learned. So actually you would probably be able to talk about this vocabulary, whether or not you saw these Venn diagrams, if you have retained the definitions. But I don't want you right now actually to be thinking about the definitions. I want us to just be thinking about what it means when we're looking at Venn diagrams, or thinking about this stuff up here. Okay, so what we're going to do, the directions tell us to use the Venn diagrams above to complete the following sentences with some, all, or no. Okay, let me move this up just a little bit. Okay, at least we can see the first few here. Okay, so blank complementary angles are vertical. So I'm looking up at this one. I see complementary is in this circle and vertical is in this circle. And because those two are overlapping, I'm talking about two things that are sometimes the same. So some complementary angles are vertical. And again, just to show you what I was doing above, that's this middle one, right? I'm showing you that if they're overlapping and you're describing this or this, the whole circle is the whole subset, you would be using the word some. Okay, next here says linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, well linear pair is here, supplementary is here. I'm comparing, or I'm talking about linear pairs. So I'm talking about the one that is completely inside the other one. And again, to show you the notes that I made above, if I'm talking about the one on the inside, I'm going to say all. So all linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, right angles and acute angles. If we look up at this diagram, we see that right angles and acute angles are not touching. So just to refer one more time to the top, and then I'm going to stop doing this. I gotta lift my light every time. If I'm talking about two subsets that are not touching, I'm saying none. They are never going to be the same. An acute angle and a right angle are never the same. Okay, and not just by the definition, but look at the Venn diagram. Acute and right, they're not touching. So no right angles are acute angles. Okay, let's move this up some more. Alright, supplementary angles and complementary angles. Well, supplementary and complementary, again, these are not touching. Those two circles have space between them. So supplementary angles, complementary angles, I'm going to say no. Supplementary angles are complementary. Okay, blank angles are obtuse. Alright, well, looking at this one over here, if I'm talking about the one on the outside, I'm going in, but I'm referring to this one. I'm saying some. Okay, some angles are obtuse. Okay, and then the last one, we might not be able to see the Venn diagram. Oh, you couldn't see that one, I guess. Some angles are obtuse. Okay, blank vertical angles form a linear pair. So vertical angles and linear pair, let's slide this down. Vertical angles and linear pair. Those two subsets are not touching. Okay, so I'm going to say no, vertical angles form a linear pair. And again, hopefully this vocabulary isn't new to you. Hopefully this is review, and you can actually think about now, if you want to, the definitions and why these statements would be completed the way they were. But we did it from the Venn diagram itself.